I'll show you how to create a news story in Joomla. First, let's start by taking a look at some of the different elements of the news story. So I'm looking at the Detroit site, and they're currently on the new version of the website using Joomla. So first I'll point out, so this is the title of the news story. This here is the published date, right in here. This here is what we call the thumbnail image. There's another video that shows some of the image editors how to create that file. If you don't have someone who can create those files for you, we could probably create a generic image that you could use on all of the news stories. But if you're able to create these thumbnail images, that would be make the news stories look a little nicer. Then there is this intro text and the read more, and I'll show all of those things in a bit. Finally, we'll go out to the site, to the news story itself. Again, here's the title, the publishing date, here's the text of the site, and then this bottom element is kind of optional. On some stories you'll want to include a photo gallery. So when you click on this, you'll see the larger image. Take a bit for that to come up, and then as you click through the images here, it'll just show each of the images on that little slideshow. So again, that's optional, but that's the gallery option. So those are kind of all the features, and I'm creating a news story with all of those elements, so you can see as I step through that. So we'll start by going into Joomla, and I'm going to be creating this story for the Tucson site. So as I go to the articles, I'm going to want to filter to just the Tucson area. And remember, because I'm creating a news story, I want to stay in this news category. And find the Tucson site, and I'm going to go to Tucson News. And within each site, I'll have at least this one blank news story, and this is where you can start. So I'll open up this story. When it loads up here, what I want to do now is change the title. And I am going to go over to my text file so that I can see this is the story that I'm bringing over. So as I open this up, my title is Confirmations at St. Gianna Oratory. So I'm going to paste that in here as the news story. I'm going to clear out this alias so that it creates a new alias for this. And here's where you want to be careful. So remember, I opened up that blank story. I don't want to click save or close, save and close, or save and new, because it will overwrite my blank story with this. Instead, I want to click as save as copy. So it'll leave my blank story there and create a new story with this title, and it'll create a new alias for that story. So I clicked Save as Copy, and I'm waiting for the system to come back and tell me that's completed. So now notice my title is still there, and it created an alias for me. What you'll need to do is change this to Published, because whenever you copy a story, it'll mark it as unpublished. Make sure you have it in the right category. So if you remember, you got two different choices here. You've got the news story or a private news story. The news stories would be that which you want to appear in the Institute news pages as well. So confirmations we'd want to include there. If this was something about, like you have a spaghetti dinner coming up, you probably want to just publish it as a private news story. It only appears on the Tucson site, not on the Institute site. So I'll leave this as Tucson News. And I'll come in here to paste my text now. Give me a moment just to get back over here. Now what I usually do when I'm working on a news story, I might get it from the person who created the text as a Word document, but often Word has a lot of extra formatting in there. So I'll take the Word document and paste it into a text document to get rid of all of that extra formatting. So that's what I've done here. I'll copy all of this, and then I can paste it right into the site here. So that's a good start right there. Now, if you remember on our site, we also had that introduction text. And often what we do is take the first sentence or so of the article, and if you think there's a more important sentence that you'd rather put as an intro, you can do that. But I often take that first sentence. So I'm going to copy it there. And I'm going to press the Enter key here, so I want to paste it up here again. And then at the end of that sentence, I'm going to click at the bottom here, this thing that says Read More. And if you'll notice, it's going to put a line in here, and that's what's going to break my section to say what appears up here is going to be the introductory text on that first page with the thumbnail, and what appears down here is the body of the text. Then I'm also going to create the news gallery. Now, if you noticed when you first came in, I left this text down here. So it's the word gallery in brackets, and then gallery again in brackets with this slash. Tucson gallery, because I'm in Tucson is the image folder, and then gallery. And now what I need to do is paste in here the name of the folder where the images are loaded up on the server. So that's a process. Loading the files on the server is not a process you'll do within Joomla, because you can only load one image at a time and it doesn't compress them. So I have a separate video to show how to compress the images and get them loaded. But you will know at this point the name of the folder, and I'm just going to go over to this place where I have the news story, because this is the name of the folder when I copied it up to the server. So I'm just going to copy that. So either you'll be the one uploading it, or if someone who works with your images uploads it, they'll tell you the name of the folder. And I'll just paste that in here. Okay, so that's everything I need to do for the content. A couple more steps. Now I go to Images and Links, and I'm going to upload this thumbnail image. Start by clicking on Select, and we're going to browse out to the location where we want the file to go. So we are in Tucson, and we're going to put this in the Images folder. The file doesn't exist there yet. If you click on this, you'll see that's the the banner page. But I need to add a new image up here. So I'm going to upload an image, and if I go over to the page, earlier we had created this small image. So I'm just going to drag it here. So there's the name, and I'm going to say upload that file. Now it selects it, and it gives me a little thumbnail of it. I can move back and forth just to kind of see that here. There's the file that I want to upload as my thumbnail. So now I click on Insert, and it posted it there. And then I have one more step, and that's come over to the publishing area. The publishing date will determine the date that will be posted on the news story, and also determines the order. So the most recent files appear first. So I can put today's date in here. So this would be 2018-10-22. And now I can just click Save. I'll wait for that to finish uploading. Once that's uploaded successfully, I'm going to go out and take a look at that. So I'm going to go out to the staging site and go to the Tucson page. Go to the news page, and there's my thumbnail, my intro text, the publishing date, the title. In a moment it should load the story for me. So when I come in now, again, here's the title, the publishing date, the story, and there's the photo gallery. So when I click on here, there are the images.